Aloha guys, this is JohnRemus.com, NewRelationships.com TV, and you're looking at some serious cable power right there. A metaphor for my video of what type of energies you want to connect to. Who do you want to connect to? And number one, I'm introducing this idea of the narcissistic or manipulative person. And this, be it due to their mental state, or perhaps under the influence, or maybe just angry people. They like to control people, and it may be even at a subconscious level. They may not even actively try to play roles of I'm better than you or I'm smarter than you. Sometimes it's necessary to, actually, usually it's not. Maybe if you actually have to exert force, but that's not being a narcissist, you know, in situations of emergencies and physical conflict and whatnot. The narcissist usually wants to take power and energy from other people, their emotional energy. And in order to avoid that, you just need to be aware of these various things I'm going to describe. That's number one. Number two is sometimes it's just a question of re-articulating the relationship you have with this person. So it might be that you're describing them as a dominant role. They might be calling you a childish name. Like, for example, my name's John. They might be calling me Johnny, for example. Or you know, other nicknames like Goofy, or any nicknames that imply a submissive or lesser than. But it's that simple role, okay? Be conscious of the role you're playing with people. Number three is an example of that role is the uncle, nephew, father, son, brother, younger brother, boss and worker. These are almost terms that are not clear. You know, for example, that's why I introduced the ideas of the guardian client and the male and female guardians into my philosophical, you know, repertoire. Because these, you know, as adults, if we're going to have people in our life, why would we want to describe somebody as a father, for example, or a son? That makes people dominant and submissive and makes people want to not be themselves, but either dominate the other person or follow the other person. And we're not stronger like that. You'd think that makes families strong. No, what makes families strong is egalitarian relationships where everyone's equal. Maybe at one point this person was your guardian. Maybe at one point you were their guardian client. But guess what? Maybe now that you're equals, you both, you know, make your livings. Guess what? You can be equals, and you can look out for each other and call each other. I use the term dream team members, your DT, quote unquote, and something worth looking at. But continuing on this, what happens is if you program your mind, and you always say, "Oh, my father," or "This person, my father," then you're gonna want to cater to whatever they believe or prefer, for example. And this, I think, is one of the root causes of conflict in the world. I think that when people say that, "Oh, this is my father or mother," that very nature of that feels uncomfortable. You don't want somebody, you know, being your authority, even from a mental standpoint. You don't want the idea of somebody ruling over your mind subconsciously. And by the way, these people may all have benign and good intent, but what happens is all these roles that you play, whether you talk about them or you just play the roles unconsciously, they have an effect on your life. And this can result in feeling manipulated, but this is different than actually, you know, intentionally bad manipulative people. And so I'll name some of the things that these people do, and you know, let's with our proper relationship terminologies. Like, for example, if you know, you'll be upset if you call somebody by the wrong term, so that's something to look at. But then you have, like I'm saying, this other idea of, well, unknown people, or it's unclear. And what happens is unclear is just like it's just like when you're not clear on your daily schedule or your dreams, you can get thwarted by other people and their agendas. And people will thwart you with subtle ways. They'll thwart you by striking you at your chakras. You know, they might do simple things like offer you transportation or food or housing. They offer you sexual favors, offer, you know, to boost your confidence by emotional. They might say lots of nice things. You know, they might agree with you a lot or whatever it is. But there's more on YouTube about narcissists, and they you know, you can look into that more. But this is a general breakdown. And so that's number 3. Some of the things that they'll do. And number 4 is how can you identify these people? You know, looking around in your life, you know, they might be people who are smart and they you know, want to sell you something, and whatever it is, they don't respect you as an individual. They just see you as being an extension of, you know, who they are, that, you know, this person's a part of my life, and so they should offer me their time or their body or whatever it may be. And, you know, because these greedy people are not that common, you might not be prepared for them. But obviously this and other videos will prepare you accordingly to identify and deal with these people. And sometimes the only way to deal with them is to avoid them. You know, there's this idea of maybe we can reason with different people in life, and sometimes you can't. And you gotta decide that. And by the way, there's number 5. There's another thing that happens in these dynamics is sometimes they like the idea of somebody being submissive, right? But maybe they don't. Maybe this is just a result of their childhood or, you know, psychological health issues. But, you know, challenge them if you think they're smart enough to, you know, engage with. If they're competent and intelligent, you can say to them, well, you know, do you really want somebody in your life that's submissive, or do you want someone that'll be equal? And you might have to give ultimatums to people, like, you know, on these conditions, I'm willing to continue a relationship. And what relationship is that? Well, either dream teammate, I talk more about that, or professional friend, which, you know, people I believe have 5,000, maybe more or less, professional friends, people who they have met and, you know, they're willing to work with and can be professional with. But when you get more precise on these relationships, you're able to avoid confusion, avoid unhealthy exchanges and energetic exchanges where it's unclear about what people are doing, what's going on. Yeah, those are I think enough to consider. But like I said, there's more on the subject from real health professionals on the internet. So thanks for considering.